Oh,
And I think that will do it. We are on the air, good sir.
wonderful.
So don't
Wonderful.
sweat
Oh, I'm totally sweating.
it. Get a little adjusting on your camera here. There we go.
Okay.
Did you get everybody put down for the night?
Yeah, well, they're watching Sonic 3 in the bedroom, hopefully.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I've
Oh,
seen one
dude,
and
it's
two.
so good.
Well, two sure wasn't very good.
You didn't like 2? How come?
I think that was it. Glee, if you're in the chat, you can help me out. Wasn't Sonic 2 the one that was really bad? I think it was compared to the first one. It was just really dumb.
Compared to the first one. Okay. Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still down for watching the third one, but
Right.
anyway, we're back for some more Zeleryn. So we did. You guys should swap cam placements so you're looking towards the center of the screen. I guess we could.
That's what I was trying to do too. It's like, I need
But
to face camera.
I'm always on this side.
Camera 1, camera 2.
Yeah. So last time we did some world building because he was a little stuck and he got unstuck. I guess we helped him. It was helpful and useful. And now
Yep.
he said he enjoyed it so much he wants to come back and do some more. But now we're not world building this time. We're actually digging into some mechanics. So
Mm-hmm.
uh not quite my realm of expertise, but I can say I do
That's
have
okay.
experience. So
Funny enough, when I pitched this idea, I thought it was going to be more like a generic discussion about this than being focused on Zeleryn, but I'm perfectly okay with that.
no, man, it's your show. So let's
Okay.
work
Oh,
on
my
some
show. Oh,
Zellerin.
alrighty. Hold on. Give me just a second. Right as I'm about to start. Hold on just a moment. I'll be right back.
And he's gone. There, Clay. I switched us. Is that better now? We're actually looking at you.
Sorry about that.
All right. I've
Oh! Whoa!
I've moved us.
Being jerked around here.
Yeah. So I think you had items on the agenda was something you were concerned about.
Well, it wasn't so much as concerned. I found it was something that is lack of coverage in, like player awards and items in TTRPGs in general. And definitely want to discuss some stuff, sure, specifically in Zeleryn to add. There's only 2 videos I found that covered specifically, like, if you go across YouTube, there's all kinds of videos like, oh, what are the best top 100 magic items? What are the worst magic items you can find? Or like, what's the most broken magic item you can give your players? I'm just like, that doesn't really seem to really give me as a GM or player what I'm looking for. All it basically tells me is, how do I break the game?
Yeah. Well, some of those for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So then, let's see. Matt Colville had discussed about player awards, which I found to be really good. On his stance, it's about what he has something that's called goal activated awards. So basically, what you do is you write down a goal that the player writes down the goal. It basically tells the game master what their goal is, and then the GM will write like index card spreadsheet kind of thing. It just says like their goal and what the reward will be. So it's kind of plain and simple for the player to engage what they're trying to aim for. And however, Dungeon Coach had an opposing idea that he wanted to, and that he kind of agrees with it, but has his own idea. What he believes is what he calls, well, he didn't specify what his ideas were. I'll just read out to you what I kind of collected from his standpoint. So he believes, one, every goal earns a reward, obviously. 2, in D&D terms, basically he has what's called a bonus level up perk. So when players level up, they don't just get their usual stuff like your level 5 extra attack from the fighter or higher spell slots. in that kind of sense. But he believes that if players engage more in the game, they should have like homebrew perks added to their characters to feel like they've been practicing that sword fighting so much they get an advantage to whenever they use that weapon specifically. Or like when you cast Firebolt, it does like an extra D6 or extra damage because you've been practicing that spell for so long.
So, Glee, I just pinged. Thank you for the reminder. And a hello, person dude who I will not name. You know who you are. And you know who I am. This ain't a new channel. But the first campaign / first tabletop experience I had, you know the story. I got thrust into the position of GMing. That was my approach, just because that seemed like the logical thing. Like I knew there was magic items I could just go get, but by the time they got to a level up and it was time to start handing out rewards, I already felt like they were overpowered. And, you know, that's a whole other 5e discussion we won't get into. But it's Blaze. Start streaming when he was about to sleep. Yeah, man, that's how I do. I wait.
Exactly.
Those squirrels in your yard let me know what's up. All the way on the other side of the world. And Wisp, what's up, man? I don't get to see you around much. But that's what I did. But I did it because I was super into the narrative side of things, so in that regard it made sense. But I also did it because then I could control how much power it gave them, and I also some of them had drawbacks, and that's how I could say, hey, you already super powerful person, here's this thing to make you more powerful, but it will also do this. So for example, I think the cleric we had, Zeleryn, I think was that deity. I think that's how you pronounce that.
Zeleryn, okay.
Yeah, they had to go through this deal. They found out they had a twin, turned out to be evil, you know, very tropey. And then they had a showdown with their twin, duked it out, ended up killing the twin, and Zeleryn, you know, this was sanctioned by Zeleryn. It was a whole to-do. And as a reward, because that was that person's personal quest, they got the shield, and I think it was the Shield of Twin Moons or something I called it. And
there we
go. The way that worked, when they started a combat, they could just not use it. They could keep their regular stats and stuff, or they could say, hey, I want to go super defensive, or I want to go super offensive. And like, if they went super offensive, which after that quest, the player got into their character and was just a hairy ball of rage after that. So they always went super offensive. And like, it boosted their attack and their to hit by so much. They couldn't, their AC actually dropped, but then they had the chance, all their spells that weren't supportive, I forgot what they rolled, but they could roll something to see if that would even consume a spell slot, if long as it was an offensive spell. So there was, you know, their AC really dropped when they did that. And they had the option to two-hand something, which dropped it even more and boosted their attack even more. So they just turned into a barbarian at that point. So,
yeah, exactly.
Like up with some magical powers. So it was pretty cool. That's the route I took. And like our rogue got some. He was technically a whole bunch of rats that formed a rat folk person. It was really cool.
Yeah.
That was his thing, and when his quest came to a close, he got like 3 different abilities that were based off that rat conglomeration, or however you say that word.
Wow.
And one of them was, it did a stupidly high amount of damage, but it left him wide open for like 2 rounds. Like his AC dropped next to nothing, and some other things. I forgot what it was. But the idea was like, he became the rat swarm and dispersed. So it's like, yeah, well, you're just rats now instead of the one thing. So you're super weak.
Like Rat King.
Yeah. I drove to the park, realized I forgot my books and disc. Oh, man, I love disc golf. So I was going to be bored. And then the stream comes in to entertain me. We do what we can. The mage rage. Yeah, pretty much.
The mage rage, yep.
It was technically a bunch of rats, I guess. I am going to be a grown-up and go to sleep now. Good night. Good job, Blaze. I got to make sure you sleep.
Yep, good job, Blaze. Get some rest.
So all that to say, I am super down for that approach. And Does EZD? I mean, I guess I could pop it open, but does the
So
EZD6 manual even have magic items in it?
so technically it does. I didn't look at it yet today. I would know I should have. I did talk to Scotty about magic items. He said that he didn't like how D&D has items where it's like, oh, you get a +1 sword, and
Mm,
he felt like a lot of those items are pretty boring. And the way he
yes.
described is that all of the items in ECD6 are good. So it's like you're not ever going to end up with a useless item in that aspect, which I'm like, that's pretty good. But my biggest concern is like the whole classic if everybody is super, then nobody is super kind of logic. But I think it might work out either way for the players because as long as they're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I think there was a one shot we did in EZD6, and I gave somebody, excuse me, a fire sword, and it
Yeah.
had the chance to set the enemy on fire, which then they had to do miraculous saves and all that. But it also had a chance to set them on fire too. So,
Right, exactly. The high risk, high reward.
yeah. But let's see, magic items. I thought maybe he had something in the back. Let's see.
Yeah. Are you looking at the core rulebook or Waste
Yeah,
World?
no, I'm looking at the core.
Yeah, I was gonna look there too. Let me see. Items.
Getting magic items is often the main goal. Story-based
I
elements.
I had a thought about adding like magic item creation to this, and I was like, that's a very slippery slope to go down to because like the whole mindset behind D&D.
Mm-hmm. So he has some magic melee weapons. Mace of Divinity. Gain a boon to melee and crit undead and demons on a 5+ unless 6 is needed to hit. When a crit is struck undead nearby, all stand dumbstruck for their next turn. So that's like, it's not so much a hard. I mean, it does have a hard boon to it, right? Like that's a definite thing that it
Yeah.
does.
So yeah, enchanted melee weapon boon. Okay, yeah, that's pretty simple. Basic advantage at that point.
Yeah. So it looks like all of these just give you a boon and then something else on top of that. Like
Could,
this weapon, when thrown or dropped, can instantly be recalled to the owner's hand.
mhm.
Ooh, and enemies in the path of this recall flight can be hit. That's pretty cool.
Oh, like keen weapon. Gain a boon to melee and crit inflicts 2 strikes.
Yeah. So he's
Does
got
that mean?
some in there.
Yeah.
Like I'm down for having a couple samples and then a block of text saying, "Here's how to make your own." Like,
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It was like because for such a rules light system, it can go anywhere at that point because it's so open. There's a lot of versatility that the game master can roll with. But I guess my concern is that it may be too vague for players for what they're trying to aim for, and it puts into the game master's spot where they have to homebrew on the spot of how they want to rule it.
right. And then that's when you got to figure out what your audience is, right?
Yeah,
Um, are
exactly.
you are you trying to win over 5e players? And not to be insulting or degrading or anything, but if that's what you want to do, then you have to spell everything out for them. You have to make a book
Exactly.
of 100 magic items. Like they're
You
just,
gotta spoon feed them.
that is how they play the game. They like to be able to just pick something out and put it in there. And
Mm-hmm.
they might come up with, wild, crazy adventure ideas and
Mm-hmm.
300 different puzzles you got to get that item, but they like it's hard for me to understand, and I'm not insulting them. It's just the way they play. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they're like, no, I want my monster predefined. I want my magic items predefined. I want my level up path predefined.
Mm-hmm.
But I will still do all this creative adventure thing around it. But these have to be defined because they just can't do it. So
Yeah.
got to spoon feed the spoons to 5 I much prefer magic items for tech items that are limited uses. So I have toyed around a lot with the idea of things having limited uses, and then the whole item just goes kaput. But I've never done it yet.
Syndrome was stupid. Yeah.
Full syndrome.
Everybody, it was still super. Yes, that's also true, especially in this science or space fantasy setting. Yes. I guess my main focus is that the more fantasy the world, not the world, the galaxy is, the more rare the magic should be to keep that mysterious aspect of it. Or basically, the higher the power creep, the more rare it is.
Yeah. Now I did eh, some video. It's a fairly old one of mine, but it's where I talked
Yeah.
about items where it's like, yeah, when you have a bunch of rules like 5e, it is significantly easier to make magic items because
Mm-hmm.
like when we started this call, you were saying you don't like the things like +1, +2, +3. It's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
boring, but it's very easy to make that for those
It's
systems.
stupid simple.
Yeah.
It's like numbers go up, damage goes up. It's very simple. It's like it doesn't add much else because it's
Yeah.
like cool. This is like your throw the mill weapons that just do the exact same thing over and over.
Yeah. And then when you have the rules light thing, it's like then it gets harder to make them.
Yeah.
It's you can have an easier time slotting something in once you figure it out, but it's hard to figure out what the heck it is. And it's very hard to make things that you can just put on a piece of paper that are generic that everybody can use that aren't +1 this, +1 that, because
Right.
they're so character driven.
Right.
Oh,
I would say, especially with magic items in Zeleryn, I would say what what the magic item's supposed to do should definitely be more defined than what it can do in combat. Obviously, I mean that's how it's kind of laid out in EZD6 for the core rulebook we've seen so far. I guess for me is that I like something a little bit more engaging. This feeling so pigeonholed into combat weapons because that's really what all of D&D is. Is just everything is combat focused. Everything else is basically sprinkled on top to look pretty, to give the illusion of, I would say, role play. But then again, it comes down to okay, well, you get a benefit to skill rolls, or you might get a benefit to combat. But outside of that, you don't really gain much else. I would say.
makes sense. Wisp says, I plan to have items that specifically have single uses. They're basically legendary items that can be made, that can't be made, I'm sorry, that can't be made anymore, now called burnouts. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, that makes sense. So imagine you pick up like the Excalibur out from the stone. It is this ancient sword that has been used in thousands of years, and it's still got a little bit of juice left, and we got to use it in a very specific way that's going to be valuable to us. Because it's like, let's say you swing it at this some like goblin, and then boom, you blow up the goblin to pieces, this giant crater, and now the sword's broken.
No item adds to your active roll. I find the small number adding and subtracting really fiddly. Yeah, man. The less math, the better.
Exactly.
Too dumb
Less
for all
math,
that.
better. That's right.
So, I can't remember if I mentioned there's this or not, but there's a setting I've fiddled around with that I really want to do at some point, and it's the Neolithic period. Like, you're a bunch of cavemen, but there's downed alien spaceships, but you
Oh,
don't know that, and you find
right.
basically some of their guns lying around and you think it's magic items like magic staffs and stuff, and they have limited uses because it's an ammo clip in it, right? So
Exactly.
after so many shots you're just like, oh, it doesn't work anymore.
Bunga bunga stick.
Yeah.
Just shaking it, trying to get more juice out of it.
Yeah. Oh, you entertained person, dude, with your Excalibur breaking. There you go.
Oh, thank you for the or whoever the second guy is has great commentary. That thing of Scalber breaking was very entertaining. Well, thank you.
So, all right. So you want narrative-based items, right? So
I think
what I'm picking up.
yeah. So me as a game master, I'm more of a storyteller. I know it sounds kind of silly to say. It's like storyteller. Then why don't you go write a book? I'm like, well, that's
No,
not what we're here for,
I
obviously.
get it.
Yeah, I like my players to have all the agency. I'm very player focused to the point where I like to give them things that they can engage with. That's not just like, oh, like the +1 ogre slaying knife or some silly nonsense like that. I like players to feel more engaged with the lore. So it's like, cool, you have this magic item that has a purpose to exist. So then you get to unravel the mystery behind that and then determine what are the possibilities that it can do. Or is it like a MacGuffin? So it's part of some larger prophecy or some alternate goal that you as a group need to fulfill to save the galaxy kind of sense.
Big MacGuffin.
Sword of Sealing seals anything or being desired once. Use wisely.
It's gonna seal that pickle jar forever.
Come on, Superman.
So as far as being the storyteller, I was saying I get
Yeah.
it's like, I ran those 2 campaigns and I ran them differently intentionally. The first one was entirely player driven in the sense I just took their backstories and built around that. And then the second one was, here is a world I have made and a goal for you to accomplish. Like, 2 very different ways. The players said they enjoyed both, but I was like, you can't lie. I know y'all enjoyed that first one way more. You were way more.
The sequel sucks, Scrat. I hate this. I want to go back to the first movie.
It was still fun, but like, and they could have had the same amount of fun in both, but they were way more invested in that first one because they were so, woven into the story and everything. So, anyway, so would you want to basically do what Scotty has in the core rules for EZD6? Just have a couple D6 tables of magic items and then a page about what you're talking about? Have, encourage the GM to make their own and say it doesn't have to be special. You have a couple other tools to play with too, like your ooze and the new corruption and stuff. There's things like, instead of the mace bonking the undead, you could have some kind of legally distinct lightsaber that is very terrifying to the ooze or something. Or something that light. Something that can almost, maybe you had a weapon that could purge corruption for somebody at the cost of a strike because you're actually hitting them and you're cleansing them.
Yeah, I see where they're going with that. I think my idea with the crows on ooze is that I want it to be intimidating enough that it's almost unstoppable.
Okay.
But then to make a weapon that can stop it, but then would kind of reshape how the galaxy reacts to it at that point.
Unless it was like a super duper legendary weapon that was.
Oh yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes like some type of cryogenic weapon. They have to freeze the ooze, but it can only sit in a stasis for so long because it'll just break out of it. They can slow it down, but they can't stop it.
Yeah, that or there was like 2 of these guns made and the tech was lost.
Yeah, right.
So, something like that.
Do you want to go down my wacky list of questions?
Sure.
Okay, so start for I guess we've already kind of covered a little bit like the basics of why magic items? Why do we like them?
Because they make number go up.
Because they make the numbers go up. Stunks, right?
Why do we like magic weapons? I'll put that.
Yeah, I was like start for the basics. We like magic items because they give a meta narrative choice for the players to engage in a world that allows us to make little micro changes to it. It's like, cool, I can cast magic. I can do something that might blow the roof off a house or something like that. Wisp says, so collaborative storytelling. Are you looking for magic tools to alter plot like narrative systems do sometimes? Are you looking for more for them to affect the world in the story
environmentally?
That's a good question.
Bye, person dude.
Bye, person dude.
And hello,
Howdy, Twice Dead. So I guess I like a little bit of both in this instance, as what you're saying, Wes. So it's like, cool, I'm going to give the players a magic item that gives them some narrative control, but in a very limited stance. Or I would say it's not much narrative control. It's more like they can affect the environment in a certain way that they may like, if that makes more sense.
Yep. Well, as far as the question you put on the board there, I feel like we kind of already covered that when we started.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yes, it could just be number go up. It's always, everybody likes leveling up. Even the people that are like, oh, I prefer narrative growth and all this stuff, they still like getting a level up. So it's kind of like that. It's just nice to get loot. But
Yeah,
when it's
exactly.
like narrative stuff we talked about, and like I said, the players were way more invested and had a better time in that first campaign, because
Mhm.
part of that might have been because they were getting stuff that was specifically crafted for them. Like a lot of those abilities they will never get in another campaign because it would not make any sense for them to get it. Like there would just be no reason for them to have it. That was a once, not once in a lifetime, but a
Mhm.
one time experience. So
I kind of realized that Zeleryn has basically unintentionally become treasure hunting in space, because that's really what it basically is to find these ancient alien artifacts, discover the mysteries behind them. How can they? Oops, excuse me about the burp. How can they break the galaxy or the universe to their whim? But the players may want to do that, but they're supposed to be heroes. They are there to basically to be the protectors of the galaxy. They're supposed to there to chase down or hunt the treasure, save the galaxy, be the heroes, do all the kind of adventure pulpy stuff. Is the whole concept behind Zeller in itself.
suckers are really valuable.
Maybe it's almost like a magic weapon that alters your fate. That's also possible. It's like, oh, I touched the chalice. What do I do now? Or it's like the Indiana Jones moment. It's like where the chalice kind of moments, like, or the chalice of, I forget what it's called in one of the Indiana Jones movies, where basically his fate changes because he moved the MacGuffin. Or a perfect example would be like he's got the sandbag and he's got the treasure right in front of him. And he's trying to switch it out to keep the same weight distribution, but then triggers the rock falling towards him, thus altering his fate.
Glee says, I'm more interested in games and media with magic systems because it feeds into that desire for escapisms and doing something other. I could find a sword in real life, but a magic sword? And
Magic systems have become such a clusterfuck of a discussion. I don't know why. Yeah, because YouTube is littered with how do I break D&D?
well, there's also, so see, when I hear somebody, when I read his comment, I would be inclined to think it's TTRPG related, but my mind goes right to magic systems and storytelling, hard or soft
Yeah,
magic. So, which can be a
exactly.
fun conversation, but really it's either, one or the other.
Yeah, it's really one or the other.
Appreciate how Scrat read my woe.
Whoa.
Players like
Okay.
magic items, they themselves craft. Yeah.
Okay.
Craft your own
So there's
spells like an Oblivion.
yeah. So we obviously know why we like magic items because they're super cool,
Yeah.
obviously. I guess next question, what should be their limitations?
Ooh. Well, also, like, on D&D note, I will write this down. What should their limitations be? Like, the magic item seems very flexible because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
here is the immovable rod. It's like you can just hang it in the air. It is now movable. It's like, okay, that's
yep.
some very powerful magic. And then you have, what is a magic sword? It does +1 damage. It's like, what makes it magical?
It's a metal light. It's a metal flashlight.
It just sounds like it's a little sharper and better
Yeah.
crafted, which is a fun. Actually, Wasted World and the Four Horsemen, both EZD6 things, have quality grade in their weapons, which
Oh,
kind
huh.
of have that. I'm trying to remember because I haven't played Wasted World and I only did Four Horsemen
I haven't
once.
either. Yeah.
Um, I believe in Wasted World you have cobbled weapons which have a chance to break. Well,
Gotcha.
I don't know if they break. I think it says they have the chance to like jam and
Hmm.
malfunction, um, but
It adds a
maybe break.
more like a grittier approach to the game itself.
Yeah, and then I want to say the Four Horsemen, which was the what do they call that, historical fiction? You know,
Yeah, historical fiction. Yep.
um, which sounds like an oxymoron, but I know I get what is supposed to be. And it's a very fun setting too. That one had a couple item grades, I think, and
Mhm.
like really, and it made sense for that setting because it was in the 100-Year War, or was it 130-Year War? I don't know. That
Yeah, I know
period,
what you mean.
where resources were very hard to come by, and things
Yeah.
were just, you got what you could get. So to find a well crafted black powder rifle, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, that's really good. So it's magic-esque, right? So
Yeah, find the Holy Grail.
yeah. Let's see. In both books and TTRPGs is maddening. I I haven't really dipped off into it too much. Twice did. I know how, or
Mhm.
we had it was many months ago. I guess it would have been either February this year or last year, because it would have been Fantasy February, I believe. The Planar Crossroad chats. I think it was last year's. We had a chat about magic systems and the
Mhm.
hard and softs and the pros and cons to both from a storytelling standpoint and running a game. I think it's interesting, but I can absolutely believe people get way too, like, I'll poke my head every now and then in the world
Mhm.
building sub on Reddit, and
Oh,
some of
that's a
the
bad idea.
literary and writing subs. It's just like, y'all are
Are you talking
missing
about
the
world
point.
jerking?
Just off in the weeds. And
The limit.
and some of their defense, some of them
Mhm.
just like to world build. Like, they have no plans to
Yeah.
write any books or run any games. They're like, no, I just like making a fictional world. So,
Yeah.
which is super fun to do.
Yeah.
I did love tailoring items that fit the character and grow with them. Yes, that's very fun. A Kesho Knight sword, yeah, buddy. Those were technically in Bashkim's story at the very, very end. They were the very first ones.
Ooh.
Yeah, so those get much fancier later in the timeline. The limitation is story, quest, and reward limited. Limitations in magic items could go into time uses. Yes, Twice did you. I think you just missed that. Wisp was
Yeah.
talking about. He calls them burnout. Some items that have a very limited, or some of them were even one-time use. I think that was the burnout items. It was a very cool thought. Um, Limitation magic items could go to time uses. Can only work under set conditions or chance of failure. Ooh.
So my only issue with the leveling item, it feels more like a video game concept than it is a TTRPG concept. Because let's say you find this special weapon early at level 1, and then at that point it's like, great, I don't need anything else because I know what it already does. Because then it kind of defeats that illusion of mystery, where it's like, great, I finally got the early item I want, and now I don't need to find anything else for the rest of the game. That's where I kind of find trouble with that kind of mindset. So it's like, as I level up, my weapon gets better. But it's like, great, but is I think that the concept is that is the weapon, is it because the weapon is good itself, or is it because you are good with that weapon?
Mm-hmm. What kind of So this is in space. It's in the future. So
Mm-hmm.
you got guns. You got some legally distinct lightsabers, and I think that
Yeah,
one,
we got magic.
there's magic. But then that one lady on the one picture, she had like some kind of energy shield thing
Oh,
going
energy
on.
shield. Yeah,
Um, is there any lost tech in this setting or super
yeah,
alien?
definitely.
Okay, so like
That's what the
there's.
Zoran artifacts come into play. So there is this urge to find fragments of leftover ancient alien technology. That's what's helped advanced technology so fast in modern civilization. So if they can find more, they can build, they can basically unlock more possibilities of technology, or basically bigger weapons, bigger biomes, bigger anything you can imagine, essentially.
Okay. I was asking because, like, in a fantasy setting, it's for me. I find it easier to come up with magic items because it's just magic. You know,
Yeah,
it works.
it's done.
Whereas
Yeah.
in a space setting, if you have the mysterious tech floating around that you find and
Ooh.
discover, you can kind of get away with the same thing. Whereas if everything is like, nope, like we're all up to speed on tech, and then it's like, okay, that gets a little harder to make.
Or like what's that famous quote where magic becomes indistinguishable from technology?
What was it?
It's one of those Arthur like law some of those like writer laws oh, it's like when technology or when magic becomes indistinguishable from magic. Basically, it's one of those. Basically, magic just becomes technology once it's been fully discovered and
Yeah,
researched.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget what the name of that law is, but that's yeah. Is it Sanders' law? I'm pretty sure it was before Sanders who said that.
No idea, but I mean, I know what you're
Yeah, you know
gunning
what I'm
for.
talking about
Yep.
exactly.
Um,
That's why I would try to keep anything that's like Zorn artifact related. It's much outside the realm than what humanoids can understand because of how advanced of technology is. They kind of see it as magic always. So it's like when cavemen see like an Indian spaceship, they think it's magic. They don't realize it's just a modern day spaceship.
ooh, Glee says like an arcane
Hex
kind
tech,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like hex tech, exactly like
that
hex
was a
tech.
brilliant setup. Yeah, just this
Yes,
wild
it
and
was.
untamed thing that was seen as magic, and it kind of was. And then they learned how to harness magic and use it in a tech.
It's like imagine you reach a peak in technology where it's like, great, we can't go any further. What do we do next? We have to expand somehow. It's like, for example, the galaxy of Zeleryn, like the resources are running dry, and they need to figure out a way to expand. That's what the
Mm.
discovery of like, oh wait, there's that one star sector we haven't been to because it's full of danger, it's full of space pirates, it's completely chaotic and unpredictable because of how dangerous that sector is, not because of the space pirates, but because of the environment as well. So it becomes like a free outlaw where there's no system or government that can rule over it because they have no way of controlling it.
Gotcha. So, as far as what should their limitations be? Are you wanting to set mechanical limitations, narrative limitations, or both?
Ooh.
Or what are you after here? Or are
What are
you just
you
striking
after?
up conversation?
Who, Austin or me?
You.
Oh, I'm just striking up conversation for everybody to engage with.
Oh, okay. Picking their brains, figuring out what to do for
Yep.
your game. I
It's
gotcha.
like I can talk her all day, but it's like I like to have some engagement in the same topic as well. Because I'm just gonna be talking to myself on camera. And they're like, yep, yep. I'm just like, okay, but what do you think?
That's what the audiobook's for. You can talk to the
Yeah,
camera all day.
that's what the audiobook is for.
I pay you to talk to yourself.
Here the questions rely in this dear topic.
See that? He just flips off this or on the switch. Ooh, Full Metal Alchemist is another that comes
Oh,
to
that's a
mind.
good example too. That's a great example.
It isn't magic, you fool. It's just our
Equivalent
space breaking
exchange.
engine allows us to teleport.
Yes, I would be
So
like equivalent exchange.
yeah, you joked twice, did now. If anybody is going to play Starfield, I know it's been out for a couple years or more. I'm about to spoil the big reveal, so you have been
Uh-oh.
you have been warned. Are you going to play it, Sage? I guess I should ask.
I don't think so. I've seen it. I just haven't really had any interest for it.
Okay. All right. So in Starfield, Earth is a dust ball. Like it's just
Okay,
been.
just complete.
Yeah, there was a
Dust ball,
big
yeah.
accident.
Thanks, Wally.
Yeah, I think you were. No, wait, I'm thinking of another one. I'm thinking of
Oh.
Dim Day Red. That's the one where you started getting hurled closer to the sun. This one, something with
Oh.
the atmosphere. The atmosphere just like collapses.
Oh
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, everything just dries up, becomes unlivable, and everybody eats off into space. So what happened was when they were discovering warp drive, basically, or light speed. When they were testing that and they yeeted into light speed in the atmosphere off the planet, they ripped the atmosphere apart.
Oh,
And they had,
damn.
then they were like, oh, we have 60 years or whatever to evacuate everybody to other planets. So that's your big reveal. So Twice Dead's comment there made me think of that as our space breaking engines. It's like, yeah, that's what they did.
Space breaking engine.
They tore the planet apart. So
You go so fast, you rip the planet apart.
I thought it was a fun game. People really crapped on it. Like, I'm playing through it again, and I really like the way they did New Game Plus. Normally I don't care about New Game Pluses. This one it doesn't really. Earth was destroyed because Bethesda realized too late they couldn't model it. That's what it really was.
We have the technology. We can do it.
But no, the New Game Plus, like it, you start over as your same level and everything, but there's a narrative reason for you to go back to the beginning. Like, it's part of the story, and there's random universes you go to, so the story will play out differently as you go into it each time. It's like, that's really cool. That gives you a reason to do it more and more. But anyway, Starfield sponsorship aside,
sponsors.
I missed that boat. My computer wouldn't run it at the time when it came out. Somebody, sure enough, somebody bought it for me like soon as it came out, and I was playing it, and there's so many loading screens, and it took so long to load each thing. But I played through it, man. I powered through.
Oh, here's a good question.
Thought Starfield was shite. I know a lot of people did, but I enjoyed it.
Here's a really typical trope. Why are magic items always laying around in ancient tombs?
Because that's what the game designer said.
Exactly. You don't question it, Sage. You just do it.
So, well, in some settings, that kind of makes sense. Like ancient Egyptians, like they were buried with nice stuff. I'm sure plenty of other cultures do that too, but that's the one that comes to mind. The very elaborate burial in the pyramid and the pharaoh and everything. It's also a great way to get cursed items because they like pulled out their parts and put them in jars and stuff. So I don't think it's too far out of the realm of possibility to find weapons of some sort in an elaborate tomb.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking too, like, isn't there just a lot of warriors in general across multiple cultures and time that just buried in their armor and weapons?
I wanted to swing back to my design philosophy mention. What is Zell's approach? Who is Zell?
Zeleryn's.
Oh, what is Zeleryn's approach? Design philosophy with what exactly?
Roll d6s.
Oh, I see up here. I guess it's a philosophy split. Do you want characters to interact with many different items? Are magic items rare, or are they heroes with destined items? That changes how you approach them a lot. That is a very good question. So the way I would approach it is I like the idea of players interacting with many different items to experiment with and to basically put tool A with tool B and then collaborate together to make something more unique. The ground guards treasure like no other. You can't build anything in Italy without finding another spot Caesar pissed on. So the concept of Zeleryn is that the Zorans were these supernatural entities who created tools to help fabricate and architect, help build and create the universe itself. And then whatever happened to them, they just kind of left their tools laid around across the galaxy. So it's like just kind of these giant, massive artifacts kind of broken up over time into fragments, just kind of scattered across the galaxy and just kind of landed on wherever they kind of are. Yes, setting and theme are also pretty important questions. Yes, that is correct. Those are very good questions to ask. Let's see. Where else can we find magic items?
Gotta put it on the board.
Put it on the board. Thank you, my scribe.
So, well, we already mentioned tombs. Is that something you
That's
can
right.
have in your world
I
or
mean, I would
universe?
be like, hey, let's say that you're on this random planet and this culture believes, like, they basically turned this Zoran artifact fragment into a giant, like, cooking utensil device. Like, it's like, oh, it makes the best food ever in this culture because we've been using it for hundreds of years. And it makes everything we eat of it taste good. And then you're trying to convince the culture, hey, by the way, we kind of need that for something. Like, no, 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 we're not giving this thing up. It's gold to us. Players made magic. Yeah, we kind of already discussed that earlier a little bit. So are magic items essentially a combinable or modular?
Some
Um,
magic items, not all.
some magic. I would say all of them are, but I would say the possibility of them could be. It's not something I had essentially planned for, but I think it is an interesting idea.
If it is science fantasy, then lost records leaving entire worlds lost in a paperwork. A few vaults, weapon laboratories, and rebel bases being lost with important loot isn't really a surprise. Now, see, and you were pooping on Starfield, but like, they did a good job with that. Like, they set up a really good world, and they, there was this period during the whole space war and recolonizing everything where
Mm-hmm.
factories off the grid, as it were, and some that were on the paperwork trail just popping up on random planets left and right because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many to choose from. Somebody could just yeet off and make a whole factory they weren't supposed to and start making
Mm-hmm.
things they shouldn't. So,
Yep.
um, now that gets a little old playing a game when you go to planet to planet to planet, and there's just like one location on every planet, but
Yeah.
it
I,
makes sense from a world building perspective.
Naturally, occurring magic items are cool. Mineral, flora, fauna, maybe even mana siphoning parasites that give. Oh, that's a really good idea too. Like, let's say like a magic based parasite is just like sucking up all the magic energy in one area. That could basically turn magic items into like take like rust monsters, but instead they're like magic item eaters essentially.
Ooh. So something that drains that unknown tech.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with all this like magic exists in the galaxy. I think it's a good example. It says like so there'd be like galactic creatures that kind of adapt to their environment essentially.
Starfield would have made a fantastic 2011 game. You know what? I'll give you that one.
I think a good example of what I'm talking about is like the movie Avatar.
Which one?
Basically
Like
humans go into space, the Navi,
okay, the blue people,
the blue people.
not
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah, not Airbender.
And the
Basically human finds
unobtainium.
mineral. What's that?
The unobtainium.
Yeah, the unobtainium, the super super expensive obtainium that's supposed to give everythingium.
That was a movie, man. That
Yeah,
happened.
basically dancing with wolves in space.
Look,
It's
when I was little, it was an experience because that set my bar for 3D movies.
yeah,
That was the first 3D movie I ever saw, and every 3D
really.
movie I have ever seen since has been a colossal disappointment.
I, I honestly watched Avatar 3 times when it came out. I enjoyed it that much.
I don't remember anything about it other than the 3D effects. Like,
Yeah,
and looking back, it's just like, oh, okay, I could see why that probably wouldn't be super popular today.
magic planet-wide parasites. Yeah, or like take did you ever play what was that game? Star Fox Assault, I think. Was it Star Fox Assault?
Nah, is that the one we were on foot?
Yeah, basically
Adventure.
it's like a third person player. You run around
Yeah,
with this magic staff.
I remember really wanting to get it, but never did, and I feel like I dodged a bullet by doing so. Because wasn't it
I
kind
used
of
to
terrible?
rent. I don't. I think it was really campy and cheesy because it
Mm,
was actually supposed to be a different game called Dinosaur Planet, but
that's
then they
right.
just they scrapped it and just threw Star Fox on it.
Yep, yep, yep.
I would
Uh,
say it has a lot of. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I like the concept back then. I was like, ooh, that
Yeah,
sounds like
I think it's following that same concept, like ancient anthropomorphic dinosaur, ancient technology meets Star Fox kind of thing. So it's kind of following that same concept. An alien tick that replaces your heart and pumps you full of rage roids up to a time or two a day to keep the host alive. Oh god.
Ooh.
Ugh. Like just burrows in your chest, just eats your heart out.
Hey, you get what's that movie? The Jason Statham one where he has to have adrenaline going
Oh,
all the
Crank.
time. Yeah, so that's what happens when the bug gets in you. You constantly have to be going. You get a massive buff, but if you ever stop, you die.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Such a stupid movie.
This is so stupid, but it was hilarious. It needs friction.
He's like the same character in every movie.
Of course he is, because he's good at it.
Yeah.
He's the one trick. I mean, like Tom Cruise, one trick pony.
Yeah, yeah.
Mission Impossible 9.
Real important question. Faster than light, is that what FTL is supposed to be? Does the setting?
Yes, faster than.
Does the setting have it?
And how does it work? So I think I was going to go with the concept where it has, like in Mass Effect, where you have these stationary devices that kind of sling you across the galaxy. Or I was going to call them or think of like Cowboy Bebop, but it has like astral gates, where it's like you have to go through multiple rings to get that super boost.
I really liked Cowboy Bebop's basically
I do too.
space
I like the
freeways,
concept.
how they worked.
Like the one episode, they're getting chased by some mob boss, and then they're basically trying to out chase the mob boss, chase them through hyperspace, and the gate's like closing because it's like you got to pay a toll to keep the astral gate open, and they managed to escape while the mob boss got shut off, so they got stuck in hyperspace forever.
But saying the cool thing about that is, I don't know if Cowboy Bebop did it, but if the only way to faster than light travel like that is through those gates, that's so much easier for authorities to regulate people trying to escape planets.
You can control traffic, exactly.
So and having that setup helps alleviate a ton of plot holes from a writing standpoint. That's
exactly
not very important in a game, but
or it's like, if you think about it this way, it's like if you're going to go to that unknown star sector, it's a one-way ticket because there's no way coming back.
Mm-hmm. You can also it was like a really, really, really old writing thing that I did a long time ago, back when Cowboy Bebop was new, and I was much younger.
Much younger.
I had toyed around with the idea of like having those freeways and the gates and stuff was regulated, but it was possible to go outside the gates. It was like super illegal to do, and like basically that's where your space pirates were hanging around trying to catch people doing that. And they were sailing the 7 seas of space, right? So
think of it this way: you have hackers; they could hack a space gate, and then they could determine where they want it to go.
That too.
They just have to scramble the coordinates every time.
That would also make Magic Bio's prosthetics super cool, and a faster than light railgun through subspace. I'm gonna hit this guy 3 galaxies away. So where else can we find? So I said tombs. Did we come up with any other locations? Abandoned planets, old
abandoned
setups?
planets that say like it could be in someone's kitchen. It could be someone's water house.
Oh yeah, there you go. Twice Dead made a good point. There it is. Predictable and inflexible jump spots. The centers of civilizations are around them. The lost places are far away from them. Abandoned and full of loot.
That's right.
There you go.
Take Stargate for example.
Stargate. So they were supposed to make a Stargate MMO. Did you know that?
Really? Interesting.
And that was the perfect setup for a game like that. And this was many years ago, but like now that they've, I'm not going to say perfected because they haven't done that by any
Mhm.
means, but we have gotten a lot better at procedural generation and randomizing stuff. Like, that is the perfect reason to have randomly generated worlds, because you just yeet through a Stargate, you don't know where you're
Mhm.
going, who knows what's at the other end. So,
I was gonna say I feel like the hype of MMOs is kind of already kind of ended because, or if it hasn't ended, we're just kind of like on the last legs of the hype of MMOs.
MMOs are dead
Like,
as far as I'm
yeah,
concerned.
they really are dead because the biggest giants are just Final Fantasy 14, which is a really good game,
That one is good.
really, really good story, and World of Warcraft.
Final Fantasy 11 was my MMO. Like, that's
Yeah,
what set my standard, my unit of measure. And to this day, it absolutely baffles me to see MMOs either let you or force you to solo the main quest. And it's like,
exactly.
I get what you're going for, but this is an MMO. Did you forget what MMO stands for?
Are you talking about Final Fantasy, for example?
Final Fantasy does that, but Final Fantasy kind of makes up for it because they still have a ton of content that is team based. Like,
So the difference between Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft is that Final Fantasy is a role playing game first. World of Warcraft is an MMO first.
yeah. So, like, I played Elder Scrolls Online, and
Yeah,
it
I
was
didn't
just
like
such
it.
a, I guess, a culture shock. Is the
Yeah,
word. I don't
really.
know, because I came. Final Fantasy 11 was the last MMO I played, and then
Mhm.
like some cheap Korean ones here and there. But like,
Yeah.
and then I hopped on Elder Scrolls, and like, I could not believe it was forcing me to play the main quest solo, and then the last boss of the main quest line,
Bingo.
you have to solo. I was like, this is insane.
The grind is so, oh my gosh, I hate grinding so
Yeah.
much. I did that with WoW for years by myself and it got bored because I had no friends to play with.
Yeah, yeah, it sucks. You can even
But
start
if
in what?
oh go ahead.
I was just reading twice. You can
Yeah.
even start an adventure around a failing jump spot or gate. Those that run always try to outrun the
There
fading
you
of the
go.
gate. Hey, yeah.
The glitching gate. I like that.
There's your quest
It's
name, the glitching gate.
what if something comes out for the gate that no one knows?
Nope.
Oh.
Whiff says it is because it is used to be a primary communication and interaction method due to limited technology.
I think the cool thing with the glitching gate is that you can even have some time travel aspect with that too.
You could. So there is a cyberpunkish game. Well, yeah, I mean it's cyberpunk themed, 100%.
Yeah.
The Ascent. I think I brought it up in
The
another stream.
ascent.
It's super fun. I like it. And again, spoilers. I'm gonna spoil the end. So if you're gonna play this game, you've been warned. They're
Oh, it looks
basically
fun.
it's super fun. I loved it. The acting is terrible. The voice
The
acting is just
acting's
it is the
oh
worst. There's
man.
like a couple characters that have a bunch of lines and they're okay. Like
Yeah.
especially the jerk boss you start the game working for. He's fantastic. But like
Okay.
the regular NPCs, it's so bad.
See, that's why they need to hire me.
That's right. That's right. But I believe the storyline was that they're basically trying to make warp gates, and
Oh,
and
okay.
somebody has discovered it, and at the end they turn it on, and you're trying to stop them because you're like, this
Oh.
isn't going to work, and basically Cthulhu's coming through the warp gate, like that's the
Oh
last boss. This
shit.
is just these tentacles coming out of the warp gate. Yeah.
That's basically Borderlands right there.
Yeah, like they opened up another dimension instead of where they were supposed to go.
Right. Yeah. Classic
Yeah,
example.
but it was a pretty solid twist because this whole game is super cyberpunky. Like it's
Oh
the
yeah.
corp, and it's. I explained this to the whoever it was I brought this up to last time. It's one of those things you can tell the writer just made this humongous, elaborate, super fleshed out world
Yeah.
and didn't get to use it. Like there's just the
Oh.
pieces there and you're like, oh man, this is like
Mm,
super fleshed out. You had this figured out and you don't get to explore any of it. So it's
damn.
it's a super solid backdrop, but you're kind of like, yeah man, I wanna find out some more about this.
Like imagine having to gatekeep your own game.
Yeah. So I liked it. I thought it was
Mhm.
fun. But
Okay.
it's It has some very nice quality of life features too, as far as playing a video game went. But
Yeah.
that's another conversation. And I'm not usually the cyberpunk guy. Like I don't.
Really?
I could probably count on one hand the amount of cyberpunk games I've played. Um,
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against it. It just usually doesn't come across my plate, and it's not something I seek out.
Hmm.
Now that I have a new computer, I am going to play Cyberpunk 2077 when I get done with Starfield.
It's
But
good. It's
yeah,
really good.
I have heard good things, but it's still just not something. I'm just playing it because it's an open world RPG. You know, like I like those,
Yeah.
so it's probably going to be fun. I've seen some clips. I'm like, yep, that looks fun. Not because
The,
it's Cyberpunk, just because it's open RPG shenanigans, right?
it's basically Grand Theft Auto Cyberpunk Edition.
Yeah. So, um, and this came up in the Planar Crossroads chat. I was telling about how I'm not
Hmm.
always drawn to Cyberpunk, and I think we came to the
Yeah.
conclusion is because it reminds me too much of real life.
Oh yeah, that's very true, man. Oh, my goodness. On a more positive note,
Where's my cybernetic arms?
right? How many awards slash magic items should players have?
Ooh, controversial.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, how many? What was it? How many?
So, how many awards, like player awards slash magic items, should players have?
Should players?
Or I put awards, not rewards.
Oh, awards, rewards, whatever.
Or if,
What?
whatever.
Wouldn't a reward?
Close enough.
Reward would be the right word.
It's probably reward. Yeah, that's probably meant to put.
You know what? We'll just say how many magic items.
Yeah, close enough. Same thing.
um. Oh, is that what they call a loaded question? I feel like it depends.
A loaded question.
Well, you know, if let's just say you're playing 5e, if you're playing
Oh
a
boy.
campaign levels 1 to 5, obviously
Mhm.
probably not many. If you're playing 1 to 20, maybe a
Mhm.
lot. Now, if you're playing with 5e's balance, you probably shouldn't have any, especially if you're
Right.
going to 20. But say something like EZD6, I could see you having
Yeah.
several magic items that might not do anything to your dice rolls, but are just all narrative or role play, or very situational things.
Yeah. One good thing I want to mention that Scotty brought up a good point about is that when it comes to combat specifically, is that you can roll as many dice as you want. Like, let's say you can have up to like 6 boons or 5 boons. They give you 6 dice, and no matter what, you're only going to do one strike at a time. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, because I was kind of worried about power creep, and I was like, oh, that's a really good point. It's not so bad after all, because it pretty much gives the illusion of more fun. It's like more dice, more fun, without having to break the game from it.
Yeah. People
Because
like rolling more
regardless,
dice too.
exactly, it's like cool. You might get more. You might get better chances to roll crit confirms, which is still good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but yeah, like if you have smaller items, well, maybe
Yeah.
not physically smaller, but let's say, you're in the fantasy setting or whatever, and you found this magical shield, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sure, maybe it gives you a small boon in combat or something. But its real magical effect is the effect it has on people that recognize that shield, and now that you're carrying it,
Mm-hmm.
some people might have just this overwhelming amount of respect for you because they see
Mm-hmm.
you as some kind of icon, versus others might really hate you now. So that's not magically making them be like that, but you could still file
Right.
that under magic item because it has a defined effect on the people.
Ooh, my artist came in with a new concept art piece.
Ooh, are you gonna paste it for all to see?
Yes, I will.
Perfect. New art.
Let me just a moment to download it real quick.
That's a super system dependent and will likely take a ton of testing to even hope to balance. Yes. very much so.
Actually, I have a response to that, but I'm trying to add this art piece in here, but I don't know where the add image button is. Or do I just drag and drop?
You can just right click copy and whatever you're looking at, and then just Control V it onto the board.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that's the winged person.
Yep.
I'm gonna put him over here.
Nice. So that would be
This person's on Fiverr.
So those are flaming wings.
No, the artist. Are they on Fiverr? Not on
Oh,
Fire.
on Fiverr. I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you had mentioned you got them on Fiverr. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
With Fiverr, I found a mech artist, but
That's
where I had issues. I didn't like the mech artist, honestly, because it's like it felt too out of or in the wrong direction I was going for, but I ran out of time to make corrections to it.
Yeah,
but it's all good. I was gonna find someone else.
This one sure is good, man. I like that. That's cool.
So it went from the galaxy wings to the flaming wings. I was like, yeah, that fits a lot better with what I'm trying to go with her. It keeps within that flaming aesthetic.
Was her hair on fire before in the shoulder pads?
So that's basically the original concept was that she was supposed to be like a body made of like galactic energy, but it's in the other art piece. Let me pull that over and post it as well. There's actually a little bit of lore story behind it too.
Oh, well, Glee says I like the placement of the knives. It makes them look like third set of wings.
Well, they're supposed to be flaming swords or spectral swords, not knives.
What was it? Is it seraphims that have 6 wings?
I don't know, honestly.
They always...
She just has 4.
Well, I'm saying with where her weapons are positioned, it makes it look like that. Yeah.
Right. Where is it? There it is. Let's go ahead and drop that in. Oh, you've already seen this one.
Yeah, well, they might
That's what it's based off of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I think the new wings make much more sense.
So the story behind this is that they're basically a brother and sister. The original concept is that the brother had became tainted with dark aether energy is the reason why he's a different color, and they were basically fighting amongst each other. She's trying to convince him to break from this curse that he has. He's trying to convince her, no, this is true power. I feel much better. This is how we should be. And she basically cuts his hand off, and then he summons, it's like, if you can't agree with me, then you'll die with me. So he summons this giant meteor to crash down on this planet.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'll ask you a question, completely derail the entire night. With this big lore, all this stuff you've done and work, have you considered making your own system instead of an EZD6 playset?
No, because I'm too lazy for that.
He says after all this world building.
You mean to tell me I got to make my own system too? Fuck all that.
So you know Dave over at Grimwood Games, like he started in EZD6, right? Do you know that? Yeah. So he made Grimwood City, did all the world building, very similar to what you're doing, and made an EZD6 playset. Actually, I don't know. Did he even add any new like mechanics, or was it just purely
more systems, more power?
Was Grimwood City just purely world building for an EZD6 game, or?
I think it was.
Okay, yeah. And then he did that and actually got positive feedback despite what he thinks.
Despite what he thinks, yeah.
Dave, so, if you're watching, we love you. And then he decided, well, I'm just going to go take all this hard work I did and make my own system. And now that's how we have the Ironbound system.
Zeleryn is already a lot of work, enough as it is, and trying to build for EZD6. I liked EZD6 enough that I was like, I can't make something better than EZD6 because it's already good at what it does. I don't need to make something as a copy of it.
That's actually why I stopped working on Nuts for a long time.
Really?
Because again, derailing, but when I was playing 5e, I decided like, oh, I don't like this. It's terrible. I started trying to work on a big fix for it. Yeah. And then somewhere during that, I was like, why am I wasting my time on this company's broken product? They make millions of dollars and should be able to do better. I'm going to go make my own thing. And then I
Yeah.
started working on, just throwing some ideas on the wall, seeing what could work, and I had a couple ideas here and there. And then I found EZD6 and was just like, oh, well, this is just all I wanted to do. This works. So it's like, I didn't like have this drive. Oh, I want to make something. It was like, no, I'm just looking for a solution.
Yeah.
There it is. And then, got playing EZD6 and doing some other stuff. And I was like, well,
Now the funny, so originally Zeleryn was actually going to be made for Savage Worlds because I liked how
That's right.
discreet that system was, and I saw EZD6 and I was like, wait a minute, this feels like Savage Worlds but with lighter rules, so it was much easier to craft for. So I was like, perfect. I have a little bit more flexibility of what I'm making, and on top of that, I got the support from Scotty, which is amazing.
so I'm going to go reverse chat here.
Okay.
Wisp says, I'm always just wondering if I should find a system close enough and just make a setting/hack. A full system isn't easy. So, once upon a time, Scrat, that's me,
Baby Scrat.
little Scrat, was often confused when people made stuff for other systems. I was like, I don't think I did. And if I did, shame on me. But I don't think I looked down on anybody like that made
I did.
their 5e stuff. Some of them I was greatly confused. Like, why are you trying to make this game into something it's not? Mm-hmm. But as far as when they made stuff, add-ons for all these games and stuff, I was like, why? Go make your own thing. Like, why ride their coattails? Why, I just didn't understand. I was like, I would go make my own stuff if I wanted to do something. And then I did. I went and made nuts eventually. But after working on Moss and Stone for another system, I was like, well, I think I'm at the point where if you're a budding game designer or just want to make something, I think I would recommend just building something for something that already exists, because it takes so much off your plate. It's a different kind of challenge, but I still think it's a good one to go through, to try and add something onto something that already exists. Not pull the Skyrim mods where you try and make the game something totally different. It's like, no, like what Zeleryn is doing, what Moss and Stone is doing, what Wasted World is doing. It takes what exists and just kind of expands it. I think that's a great way to go, because you have such, especially EZD6, you have such a solid foundation to work with.
Yeah.
Like the cooking time in the oven has already been done for you. So like you have saved yourself a lot of burns and trouble and heartache.
Exactly.
And then after, like what Dave did, after you make something for that, then you can graduate to making your own system from scratch, and you will have a lot of new knowledge and experience to work with, and you'll kind of know what to look out for. So I think at this point I would recommend building for a rules light system first, and it could just be something super small, just a few mechanics and a little world, not like a full-fledged thing. But somebody, let's see, there was one here for you I saw. And in what ways was the mech artist the wrong direction? If I remember, it was too anime-ish, basically.
Yeah, it looks way too anime-ish, which I can show you if you want.
Yeah, the one with the big gauntlets. Yeah.
These like giant oversized. So here's the funny thing. This is supposed to be the sneaky, like fast moving ninja-like Gundam or mech, really. And they gave these giant like blades, and I was like, why would you do that? It looks so heavy. It looks ridiculous. Here, let me pull it up. So I want to answer some questions back up here as well. Wisp asks, are psionics a thing? Yes. So there is a star path called espers. Those are basically your psionics in this setting. Let's see. Yes, you did. Shame on you. Yes. Okay. Quick story time about when Sage was in high school, when I had first discovered playing 3.5 D&D, and I was very new to TTRPGs in general, because I learned playing D&D from a cousin's house, and all I ever knew was just D&D because that was the most popular thing around. So in high school, I started running D&D for my friends, and then when I saw other people who would try to do like their own homebrew or stuff I read online, I was like, "Ew, that's stupid. That's cringe. This is awful." Because kids around my age in high school are not very good at making homebrew, obviously. So I basically paint with a broad brush and saying all homebrew is bad. That was terrible on my part, and that's when I discovered Eberron. I was like, oh my god, Eberron is like this amazing world setting that I fell in love with so much. I felt like Eberron was just peak. It was like nothing could beat Eberron. As you see right here, there's the Corvair map right there behind me that I haven't hung up
I
yet.
don't think they can see it on the
Oh,
stream
that's right.
camera. It's
That's
cropped
okay.
a little bit.
That's okay. Here, I can grab it. My amazing Corvair map.
Whoa.
Whoa. I have other continent maps I need to hang up eventually too because I love it so much. I even bought all the, those Wizard of the Coast novels that they used to sell.
No.
Really?
Unless you're talking about Doerden or whatever his name is.
Those like well, they would hire like numerous like authors to write for stories for like short novels and stuff like that. Okay, no worries. So basically, I bought all the novels that were published by Wizard of the Coast because I'm such a huge Eberron fan. And then, funny enough, when I started doing my own homebrew, I did like one homebrew campaign. Then I dropped that, and here I am, ironically making something of my own as I eat my own words that I used to say was cringe.
Got him.
Got him.
Also, hello, Scattered Terrain. Is that the terrain that made Tales from Elsewhere his terrain? Or is this another terrain aficionado?
Hey there.
So, yeah, I'd say this is where I get kind of confused. It's like, or undecided. I've seen people try and make things for 5e, and that's where I'm like, why would you waste your time doing that? Because one, 5e is such a big system, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. There's so many moving parts for you to account for if you're trying to make something that plugs into the rest of it. But also in that one, it's like you're spending so much time basically just trying to make a class. So when I'm talking about earlier, when I was saying, hey, try making something for a system that already exists, that I'm talking about a full-on thing like Zeleryn or Moss and Stone or Wasted Worlds, like something it's a whole other layer and not just one little add-in for an overly complicated system.
This is how bad it is.
Oh,
it's so awful.
I mean, like, it's well drawn. It's just not what you were
really
going
well drawn,
for.
But not what I was going for.
That is the stealth one.
Also, a quick note: Scattered Terrain is actually one of my playtesters.
Oh, well, hello, playtester, Scattered Terrain person.
Yeah, you see those giant, awful gauntlets. I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting.
Well, he silently takes them down because he just shreds their entire body.
I was like, yeah, give him like a camouflage cloak. And I was like, that's not what I was going for.
But like I said, it is well drawn. It's just very...
Yeah, it's really well drawn, just not in the scope what I was aiming for.
It's like he asked for, a killer rock solo, and the dude just played the best blues song you ever heard.
It looks way too anime.
Yeah. I started on homebrew, so I've been more accepting of it, luckily. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to learn to accept that homebrew is not as bad. Like, I had to learn to accept that, like, wait a minute, what if I'm the problem? Start homebrewing myself.
Got humbled.
Yep, I got easily humbled.
Oh. So anyway, springing it all the way back. 5e homebrew needs to either be small or a complete strip down of the system. In other words, in a goblin separate. Yeah. So like, if you're gonna strip it down at that point, it's like y'all might as well make your own thing.
Right.
But anyway, coming back, how many magic items should players have? Very system dependent, I think,
Yeah.
was the final answer there. Rules light. I feel like the lighter the rules, the more you can get away with versus,
Yep.
well, I guess in something like 5e, you could go through more magic items. Like you get a +1 and then a +2 and then a +3. But if you're just replacing what you had, I guess you don't have more magic items on you.
Yeah, Meredith. I didn't want to say your name because I didn't know if you feel comfortable with that. So I was like, yeah, that's scattered terrain.
Oh, okay, Scotty's editor, starting with Wasted World and many projects since then. Sometimes. The editor of these
The editor.
masterpieces. Ah, fantastic. So editor, like, do you also do, well, I guess that wouldn't be the editor's job. I was thinking of all the formatting and stuff. So I guess the editor is just catching all his typos and stuff, right? And making sure it makes sense. And many projects since then.
The middle point of 5e homebrew has to fight the system. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Literally.
Everyone quick, ship shape.
Shit. Hut 10. Huh.
Chat better spell everything right. Capitalization, punctuation. Pronto. Such a great. Twice did, coming in hot.
Out the oven.
Man. All right. So what's the next one?
Okay. So one thing I described here are what is your favorite reward as a, or yeah, basically what's your favorite reward as a player or as a GM?
Not having to run the game that week. That's my favorite. Oh, I do developmental editing prior to the final. Oh, okay. So, all right. So I'm gonna go off the rails again here. So developmental editing. So in the, I can't say the writing world, in the story writing world, I know what developmental editing is, but how does that work for ttrpg manuals? Is that like, no, you need to put character creation up front and then all this over here? Or
that's a good question.
is it like, I mean, I don't think it'd be about mechanics, right? Isn't that up to the game designer? So I'm curious.
The squirrel is
I
curious.
am much curious. So what is your favorite reward as a player or as a GM? As a GM, I mean, I don't get items, so.
No, of course not. But it's like, what is your favorite reward to give to players as a GM?
Oh, basically? Okay. Let me. What is your favorite reward as a player? All right, let's do this. What is your favorite reward to receive as a player or give as a GM? Okay. Well, like the first campaign I talked about, I really liked coming up with the items that were specific to their backstory, their own personal lore, their character, and then giving it to them. Favorite reward to receive as a player? Well, I can't say I've never been in a campaign because I've been filling in for that guy in Jacob's campaign.
Oh,
that's right. But really, I'm just kind of there. I'm really not that involved because they were level 7 or 8 by the time I jumped in to fill in. So I'm just there to swing the axe. So I don't know. I haven't really been in a campaign.
Would you like to be in a campaign
as a player? Well, it depends, man, on the time.
Depends, man. Yeah,
frequency,
that's
true. All that. I don't.
The stars have to align.
I don't have much time left in this campaign of Jacob's. We're getting pretty close to the end, so that will open up a lot of free time. When that comes to a close. And it's a super cool story. It's Season of Ghosts. It's for Pathfinder. It's Paizo. Is that who makes all that stuff?
Paizo, yep.
Yep. It's one of their adventure modules, and it's, from what I've seen, it's like, man,
can I be in a campaign?
It's very cool.
Of course you can, Glee.
Yeah, we can both come raid. You gonna have a Zeleryn campaign going?
Ooh, tempting.
Ooh. She likes EZD6. She's played that. So
I could use some more play testers.
as a DM, I like to give strange and specific items a magic ring that makes invisible while makes, I guess, the person invisible while underwater. Things like that. That's actually pretty cool. All right, we got an answer. Part of it is organizational. Part of it is helping reword and rework for clarity and to prevent potential FAQs. Part of it is mechanical. Ooh, part of it is mechanical. Part of it is catching typos and doing formatting. Okay.
Nice.
I learned things today.
That sounds like a fun job.
Yeah. The organizational part is like I've seen a few manuals that could have used some of that.
Yeah.
And you know, to be fair, in their defense, like everybody's going to read the manual different, right? Somebody's going to be like, I want my character creation process page 1. And then some people are like, no, I want that in the back. Give me all the rules first, then we'll make a character, you know, whatever. But I love getting and giving one that allows the character access to new ability or skill of some kind. It's an absolute joy to edit.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That does sound inspiring.
So is this like, I guess, just side work? Or is this a full-time job? Or side work turned full-time job? Ooh. Getting and giving one that allows character access to new ability or skill. Yeah, that's... So let's see, that first campaign, let's see. The character Glee played as got an ability. The cleric got an item. The rogue got an ability. Glee, what did the bard get? Alessandra.
Alessandra.
I can't remember what she got. Person, he got... He just got the aura of awesomeness, basically.
The aura of awesomeness.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing a player. Let's see. Glee, the bard, Person, the cleric. No, that was everybody. She got her voice back. Was that it? I thought she got some other stuff.
Where have I heard that before?
The crown? No, that was something y'all just found, and it just had like a one-time use thing, or it was just needed for one thing. Yeah, 5e bards are overpowered, man. They are ridiculous.
They are. My favorite was the College of Swords. That was really fun.
Silver Tongue wasn't a college. That was an ability.
Yeah, it's an ability.
I forgot what her
just
college
side jump
was.
for now. Okay.
Side jump. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find work.
Yeah. She had this ability. It was Silver Tongue that would not let you roll lower than 10 on the die. That did not account for your modifiers. So the minimum you could roll was 10 plus your modifiers. So with all her charisma modifiers, the least she could roll was a 19 at like level 5. It was silly.
Oh boy.
Did she get a cloak or something to change appearance, or am I hallucinating? Yeah, I don't think that was a thing.
So I specifically don't have a favorite reward as a player or as a GM, because I would say I have spent more time in my life as a game master than ever as a player. I guess because for me, I like to run games that I particularly like to play in than other games that I've seen run. Like for years, I've only played in 2 Eberron campaigns in my entire life because of how rare I could find Eberron games that were willing to run. Because like some people take an approach as like, oh, it's steampunk. I'm like, I don't really care for steampunk. It's just not my cup of tea. Like I'm strict. I was like looking for what's the better way to describe it? I was looking for Eberron by itself without any other type of like twist and turn specifically. I was trying to get like the most authentic experience of Eberron as possible, but many people weren't running that type of game. So I decided to run my own type of game like Eberron. I'd been doing Eberron campaigns for years because I know so much about the lore and I love the setting. And I've had a lot of fun with it, but eventually I got bored with it, and that's why I started working on Zeleryn.
Done for the boredom.
There you go.
I started off GMing and then started getting into more one shots and was really liking that. And I quickly accepted my fate. It's like, okay, I'm the forever GM. Now remember,
Yep.
I had no TTRPG experience, got thrust into
Right.
the GM position. So I was
Nobody
like, well,
wants
this is
to
me
run.
now. But I enjoy GMing. Like, it's fun when I
Yeah,
actually
it is fun.
get past the coming up with something for them to do. I
Yeah.
enjoy running the game. I think it's super fun. But I joke and say, because people are like, I can't find games to play in, It's like, well, if you want to find games, just make a YouTube channel. Like, that is the easiest way to go
Is
about
that really what it is?
Yeah, I was like, I made a YouTube channel, and now this is just game offers
I'm
left
done.
and right.
We're done here. I've been doing this all wrong. Sorry, buddy. I've been doing this wrong.
It might not be the game you want to play, but
yeah, exactly. At that point, I was like, man, I can't find anybody to play Eberron with. Well, I had a couple of campaigns I ran, but I think what it was like I've been being a GM for so long. I was like, I want to start doing paid games, but then realizing the pressure behind it and the higher expectations of it, I was like, a lot of professional game masters, they run their games with modules, which are just like cool. They just memorize the module and they just run it as is.
That's what Jacob does a lot.
Yeah, I was doing everything the hard way. I was like, no, I'm going to build the campaign around the players like I always do, and then do everything on the fly and improvise because that's what I like to do. But I was like, oh my God, what do I do next session? I don't know what's going to happen yet. Well, just like stressing myself out like completely crazy, getting super anxious. And that's what I was like, I can't do this. It just wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And I see why everyone takes the lazy route towards paid GMing.
I got a lot of mixed feelings on the paid GMing thing. Like,
yeah, I do too.
As far as being for or against it, I can understand both sides of the argument. But also just as far as doing it myself, it's like, man, it's like, I know I shouldn't feel that much pressure. It's like, oh, they're paying me.
Exactly.
I have to do all this extra 9 miles of work. It's like, no.
Exactly. It's so much work.
You're just...
You don't have to, but
reliably running a game. That is what they are paying you for.
Paying for scheduling time. Because for many years, I had players that flaked out after a few sessions. I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of flaky players. I'm going to start running paid games from now on. Then they'll definitely play in my games.
And say that's the thing. Like, I could really see the draw of it. Like, people are paying, they're gonna show up.
Oh, they're definitely gonna show up. Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. A blade of Tempest that was given to the fighter in a previous campaign. She became his champion and could call upon a war god's mantle once a long rest. Interesting. Also, hello, person, dude, man. What's going on? We are still here. A Wands of Sleep. It puts someone to sleep, a la Sleeping Beauty, once a year. Ooh. Scattered Train. It's definitely a labor of love working on RPGs. It takes a lot of attention to detail, keeping track of mechanical accuracy on top of grammar. And
sort of 40 chess. Yep.
I was going to say, like, that's...
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you were working on more complex systems, just trying to make sure they don't contradict themselves and you trying to keep up with... Yeah, that's...
I see this as... This is something I wish I could put on my resume as a game master. Be like, yes, I have experience in project management and teamwork collaboration.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could.
In corporate speech.
Yeah.
How does this translate?
Patience.
Okay.
It translates to patience.
There you go. So one of the things I wrote down, I was watching one of the YouTube videos that I discovered about the whole player award stuff like that. Especially like a Matt Mercer video, he was talking about way to reward players is like alliances, memberships, having exclusive access to a location that's blocked off from normal society. That, let's say you succeed at a quest, it's like, great for doing this job for me. Now I'm going to allow you to have a path to go down that's been blocked off for several months or years that you now have access to due to like special privileges. Or let's say, where'd it go? Gifts are like boons from a god or something like that. Also, let's say you might earn transportation. It's like, cool, thanks for fixing up my old ship back here that's been broken down for months. I've been trying to get out of this damn place because it's a whole mess. As a reward, I'm going to give you my backup for doing such a great job for me. Kind of situations. Like, here, you can have my backup ship. Or like my little pod racer. Another thing is, yeah, like I mentioned, unlockable areas. So the rotation of continuously awarding players is it breaks down to three things. It goes fantasy, behavior, and award. Well, as Matt Colville mentioned, where it says the behavior game awards is the behavior it encourages.
What was that last line?
The behavior a game awards is the behavior it encourages.
Yeah, so I've tuned into some fun conversations about game design as far as
Yeah.
rewards versus punishments. Like,
Yeah,
and this was
exactly.
more, this was video games, but like some of the logic still applies. You know, there's usually a set way to play the video game, right? There is the right way, the way the dev intended for you to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's good arguments to be made. Instead of punishing the player for not playing that way,
Right.
you reward them for playing that way.
Exactly.
That way they can still go off and do, you know, whatever. But like, if you have that certain way you want them to play, you reward that play. So that's a fun combo.
Like a good example of this is a story I had with I was doing a live play with a friend of him and his group, and we were in a ballroom setting. We were there to meet our quest giver per se. Like it was just basically a role play session. I was like, okay, hey GM, I want to. We're playing 5e as well. GM, I want to roll to see if I know someone here. He was like, okay, go ahead and roll for it. So on live stream, I roll a natural 20. I get super hyped up and excited. I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, I got a natural 20. Who do I meet? And it was, nobody, you don't meet anybody here. And I was like, just completely awestruck that all that hype just completely shattered under my feet. I was like, then what's the point of rolling if you're going to ask for a roll? It's like you could have done something that's like, oh, you happen to see someone from behind that looks very, very familiar. And as you reach out to them, they turn around, it's someone else entirely. Just a hint or something, just give me a bone or something to work with here. But I was like, to have nothing to gain from that as an engagement in the game felt really disappointing.
Yeah. With back at the resume skills, I have X number of years experience developing technical documentation.
Documentation.
So, there you go.
Be a tech writer. There you go.
Yeah, and scared terrain, better to use a carrot than a stick to lead players. Absolutely.
That's right.
So,
exactly.
yeah. Matter of fact, we were talking about the whole Nat 20 thing not too long ago. I was talking about that same bard who was trying to you speak with animals to guide an entire magical island.
Exactly, Twisted.
Magical turtle island, you know, the big turtle with island on his back. Yeah, and she rolled a nat 20, and I was just like, I don't even remember if I gave him permission to roll. I think he just did it. And I'm bouncing between he and she because he was dude, but he was playing Alessandra. So yeah, but it was very clear that the role, if he did ask, it was one of those like, well, I mean, you can try kind of things, but you should. It was very obvious the way it was going to go, but they got a nat 20, and he was just like, you know, because I didn't let it completely change, and not that it would have changed anything. They still had a method to warp out of there, so he just didn't get his way. So.
I think a good example you had mentioned before when it comes to like asking for a roll, it's like I'm gonna go up to the king and ask him to give me my kingdom. I'm like, go ahead, roll for it. It's like, okay, I rolled that 20. What happens? It's like, well, I think you mentioned this before. It's like, well, I'm gonna give you the best result of what would happen. Not, and players would treat it as, well, I rolled that 20. You should give me my prize kind of situation. Instead of saying like, well, that's not how this works. You're just getting the best outcome of this.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the. There was something I read a long time ago, about nat 20s just not meaning you win. Like they just mean something good
I win
happens. So like,
D&D.
yeah, it's like an example they used is like, so when you make the joke to the king about telling him to get off his throne and give you his kingdom, and you roll a nat 20, he finds your joke amusing and doesn't have you executed on the spot. Like
exactly.
that is how you won that encounter.
Exactly. But I got the number to go up.
Yeah. So yeah. There's that idea that nat 20 just means you get whatever you want.
The magic number that you win D&D somehow.
Yeah. Like, no, you rolled a nat 20. The magic turtle decided not to eat you. Like that's how this plays out. So
I would say a little funny scenario I had. So my sister was playing 5e one day, and their mission was to go find some underground dwarven fight club of some sort. And she's like, okay, I'm going to lift up the manhole cover. I was like, okay, give me a strength check. She rolls like a nat 20. I was like, you lift it so hard that it just goes flying up into the sky.
Accidentally kills the person 2 blocks down.
You just smashed two sky coaches.
Oh no. Let's see. Don't roll when the result is a sure thing. Yeah, that's
right.
But then you get into you're railroading me. So
you're railroading
that was,
me.
And Glee said he had a habit of just rolling. He did. So it was kind of a combination of things. Like I was not just a brand new GM, but a brand new TTRPG experiencer. So I had that going against me. And then he was kind of that way, we were just a bad mix. And looking back, having the experience now and seeing different types of players, it's like, it would have gone very differently if that were to happen now.
Here's a good question I have. How do you respond to a player who are players who are constantly asking for a role when a role is not needed in that situation?
Ooh. So basically him, but if he asked every time.
Exactly. It's like, can I roll a stealth check? Can I roll a perception check? It's like, whoa, slow down, buddy. We haven't even started the role-play encounter yet.
Yeah. It kind of depends. I feel like if they were interrupting me, that gets under my skin. I dislike it when people interrupt me. But, like, I think 99.999% of the time, I just completely let it go when it's on Discord. Because, like, there's lag. Like, if I stopped for a second, it might seem like you had an opportunity. So, like, I don't mind it then. But, like, if we were at a table and somebody was doing that, talking over me, I would have a problem. But so if somebody was just like, can I roll for this? Can I roll for that? If they had a habit of doing it, I would probably just get to the point of saying, well, you can, but nothing will happen. But if you just want to roll your dice, go ahead. And then or you can, nothing's going to happen unless you roll a nat 1, then something terrible is going to happen.
So here's my next question. Do you think as a game master that we should ask to have a better communication with the players, should we as game masters strictly ask players to make a roll, or do we wait for players to ask what they can do next in a certain, let's say, Scrat, you go into a dungeon room and it looks like the room is completely scattered apart, like it's been ramaged through, like someone kind of came in with a tornado and just slaughtered, or basically shuffled the whole room apart. You think you might find something interesting in here. And I'm kind of giving like some type of elaborative narrative situation. It's like you walk into the room, you might find something interesting under the bed cover. You happen to have something scratching in the back of your mind telling you to look in that one certain spot. Compared to, you see a room scattered apart. What do you do next? Kind of situation.
We had Glee, you know exactly what it's going to be. We had a player every time they walked into a room. Do I see any secrets? I don't know, man. Do you? I had a great party to learn TTRPGs with.
That's really good. especially very patient players too.
Yeah. So what was the question? When do I give them roles, or?
Or it's like, do you think it's better for players to ask for roles or for the GM to ask the players when to roll?
It's like a combination of both, and this is just like,
Yeah.
obviously when if you don't know the people or it's your first time just playing together. I mean, they could be your best friends for life, but this is the first time you actually played. Like,
Do I see any traps?
yeah,
Secret door?
yeah,
MacGuffin?
yeah.
Something?
There's there's going to be some stepping on toes and fumbling until you figure out each other's groove. Like, you figure out,
Yeah,
oh, here's how
exactly.
Scrat runs the game. Like, he will present me with opportunities, or like I
Exactly.
need to prompt Scrat. So like in Glee's saying there, do I see any trap, secret door? Like, if somebody walks into a room and I say, hey, here's a room, there's stuff, and then they're like, okay, do I see any traps? And I'm like, well, let's roll to find out. I'm fine with that. Like, that's fine.
I think it gets old asking, can I make a perception check? Can I make a perception check? It's like the idea, like, I find the passive perception to be an interesting concept, but at the same time, it feels kind of misused a lot. Where some GMs, it's like, well, that's what my character would see, right? That's what my character would do. So I wanted to make a perception check. Why didn't you ask for one? Kind of nonsense.
Well, and this is where. So when I made nuts, it was basically to correct everything that I got aggravated with in
Yeah.
D&D. And passive perception, I thought was, I saw what it was going for, but considering all the other rules it had, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah,
So
I
like
agree.
in nuts, when you're supposed to tell me about your character when we get to playing. So when you walk into this room, I would just, as the GM, say, hey, Mr. Rogue Man, you notice that tile in the wall is slightly
Exactly.
discolored. And now it's like, oh, well, and not specifically, they're like, well, do I know what that is? And I'm like, either I would just say, that's a trap. Or I could say, let's roll to make sure. And then it's up to them. And then, you give them a challenge specific to their character. And then they are aware of the danger, because I'm not a big fan of, oh, you triggered the trap, now you're going to take damage, because you didn't ask me for that perception check. This is
Yeah,
on
it
you.
feels like punishment for lack of engagement.
Yeah. Now, if they didn't have, in that same situation, they didn't have the rogue that was the trap expert, and they were just
Yeah.
bumbling barbarians, I would let them walk through, and then
Exactly.
they would
Logically
trigger the
speaking.
trap, and then I'd be like, okay, you have triggered a trap. This is what's happening. You have a chance to avoid it by burning your resources. You can now get out of this situation. Whereas the rogue, it's like, nope, you're role playing the rogue. You get this bonus. You see it ahead of time without
It's common
burning
sense
resources.
for a rogue.
Yeah.
I think the problem with some players, but it's like, but I thought we were searching for traps. It's like, well, you didn't say you were, so it's just automatically assumed. That's where it's that communication barrier kind of falls. Like, it's like, okay, what are you doing? Well, we're gonna go look around for treasure. Okay, great. You might find some treasure, you might not. But then the trap springs. It's like, oh, but we were looking for traps. It's like, well, once again, you didn't say you were looking for traps.
Yeah, I've never been in a situation where I was punished for, like, oh, well, you didn't ask for a perception roll or something like that. But
I can't say
I could see how that would be. That would be very annoying and very stupid, because then that goes back to the rewarding and punishing players. It's like, okay, you punished me for not being a jerk and asking every 5 seconds, can I roll this? Can I roll that? It's like, so now you're telling me you want me to do that. Like, every 5 seconds, you want me to say, I'm rolling a perception check. I'm checking for traps. I'm checking for secret doors. Also, I liked what Twice Dead said up here. I want to jump across the cliff, nat 20. You run across the air like Wild E. Coyote for a few feet, then you fall into a branch.
I always give my players a click moment, like in movies when someone steps on a landmine and it doesn't go off immediately. I prefer having players ask to do a thing or ask if their character sees something. Then I get to decide if the roll needs to be made or if it makes sense to provide the answer without one. Yes, exactly. That's a very good response right there. So the player prompts
the action, but the GM chooses. Yeah,
decides when the roll happens. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But my first game was the kind of punishing DM you're mentioning. Yeah, exactly. Those are the kind of GMs that need to be better about that.
Yeah.
because I feel like there's some GMs who have that mindset of like, I think it comes from like old school D&D where it's like it becomes a you versus them. It's like, oh, I'm gonna kill my players because that's gonna be so much fun. They're gonna go through the ringer and they're gonna be dead in the first round. Whereas it's kind of moved on to, it's like, okay, we want a more collaborative storytelling game. We want to have more dramatic engagement than just plain Running Man.
Yeah. Yeah, and it like I mentioned this earlier, and that's what Mary was talking about. Finding that groove with your GM and your players. It's like, okay, you know, I have faith in the DM. He's not here to kill me. He's going to give me opportunities to do stuff. But at the same time, sometimes I can squeeze a little bit out of the GM, you know? like in a Pathfinder, that campaign I'm in for Jacob. I'm always asking, can I roll with advantage?
I do that a lot. Can I roll with advantage, please? Because it relates to my character somehow.
He's like, why? And I'm like, because I want to.
Because I want to.
I don't want to miss my attack. This is all I do in this campaign.
Oh my god.
I'm here to swing the axe.
And you miss, and then nothing happens. It's like, okay, there's no fail forward to engage with. It's like, and whiff.
Yeah.
And
I will.
whiff.
So obviously, I don't. I will argue from what little I know, Pathfinder is way more balanced than 5e, but I still don't like it because it's way too many rules and mechanics.
Too many rules. I agree.
But I love the multi-action penalty thing.
Yes,
like if you're toe to toe with your enemy, you can just swing, and swing again, man. And like it gets harder and harder to do.
If you like that, you'll definitely like Savage Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about Savage Worlds is the multi-action, exploding dice, and bennies.
Yeah,
those are my favorite things.
It's very nice feeling when you're the barbarian and you can just sit there and you're like, well. Because, you know, the barbarian doesn't get to do much, so it sucks when you just make your one attack and that's it. It's like, no, I'm a barbarian. I'm going to spend all my action points swinging.
Exactly, Meredith.
And if you land all 3 hits, you're just like...
Yeah. Like, you feel like you're just cleaving left and right. Like, you feel like a beast.
Asking for a boon advantage just makes good sense if you come up with any... Well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, EZD6 encourages that. Like, it encourages you to get into your character and be like, was it aspects in EZD6 that are just the little one-line things about your character? It's like, yeah, so it's like, oh, hey, I am a chef. You know, what I know this meat has something funky in it. So
is there poison in this meat kind of thing?
Yeah, that's
so like in
the haggling with the GM. That's fun.
In Zeleryn, I call them star traits because you are playing a star path, so you have star traits, and star talents are your inclinations.
Okay, all right. I started playing with 2e, and then DM versus player is overblown if the environment is hostile to DM. Doesn't pull any punches, but it wasn't as bad as some make it sound.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have any D&D experience other than 5e, and I won't say that it made me feel like I was against the players, but it absolutely makes me feel like the players are against me.
That's exactly what 3.5 was like, because back in 3.5 you would have like hundreds and hundreds of feats to choose from to basically min-max your character to be this most bizarrely tree-built character you could ever imagine, especially like the book, what was it called, a Book of the Nine Swords, that had like a lot of wild concepts in that book alone. Making PCs was a 40-minute deal.
Yeah.
Losing one isn't that terrible. That's exactly what 3.5 felt like, is that I had players where we would spend an hour just building the character because there were so many options to build with. It was ridiculous. I felt like it pretty much becomes analysis paralysis at that point.
Yeah, boy.
Our adversary, oh god, it's awful. It really does depend on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the hard thing, is finding the group you mesh with. And it, you know, there's plenty of videos and talks about this. Like it stinks when you got a friend and then you find out you do not play well together at all.
Exactly.
But like
That's
you
the
got to
issue.
learn, like, well, just because I can't play this game with you doesn't mean you're not my friend.
Exactly.
Like some I tell some people this before, and they tend to think I'm joking, but I'm like, no, no, no. Like if you want to know about a person, like whether it's just a friend or something, or like potential spouse material, like if they're into video games, see how they treat people online in team-based games, like,
and how they react to stress.
yeah, well, that too, but like, are they swiping the loot because they just like, oh, it's just a game, I don't care about these other people on the other side and things like that, it's yeah.
You learn a lot about people in video games. Yeah.
Yeah, and the stress too is like, yeah, if they're into the high level MMOs, like you'll really see a person's true colors.
Especially when they're under pressure. Like how do they handle anger management and stress? Like, do they blow up on everybody around them? Do they
blame
push everybody away?
Like,
Blame everybody? Yep.
Do they know how to take the blame? Yep.
Accountability.
That's what I'm saying. That high level, high tier MMO play. It's like, yeah. Like that's. Some people aren't cut out for that, and it's not because they're not a nerd.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so our next question is, should you reward one player or all players at the same time? So let's say the players find one magic item. Who gets that magic item?
Do you reward one player all at the same time?
Yeah, do you reward one player or all players at the same time?
So first campaign I did, everybody had their own individual quests, and like I think probably after the first quest they've realized, oh, we're all going to get one of these, and at the end of our quest line is our special item. So like there was no, oh man, when do I get anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Except for that one bard. They just could not let people have their own quest. They wanted to be the hero in every single, maybe not every single quest, but they really struggled. Like
main character syndrome.
Yep, they had a huge problem with the twin sister battle thing. Like the whole party got separated from that, and the rest of the party was fine. They're like, this is this character's moment. Like we fought this long battle to get here, and now we're supporting them, but like we're on the sideline watching. Like Zeleryn came down and made the magical wall. Like, you guys cannot interfere. This is a 1v1 me, bro, with that character and their twin sisters. So, but Bard couldn't handle it.
Oh no. I guess, how do you engage the players who have to basically watch the game play in front of them?
Well, in that case, when it was just the 1v1?
Yeah.
How do you make it entertaining, or what was the question?
Yeah, so it's like, how do you engage their players who basically have to watch someone else play in front of them?
So in that case, again, new GM, but like,
yeah,
I tried to make that as very cinematic as possible.
Right,
like,
exactly.
A lot of the 5e rules just went, yeet. Like, I was like, I did not care. This is a 1v1. It's the clerics just doing their thing. I had them roll, their basic attacks, and I think that's all they did. They just basic attacked one another. I don't.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think that was one of Selun's rules. Like, you can't use magic. Like, you got to do this just raw. Blah, 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 blah. And they were. So I tried to describe things and like, oh, they threw you over, they broke your shield, like just all kinds of things were happening. It was very cinematic moment, and I try not to let it go too long either. Like, we're talking about just a few rolls each, so it would be said and done. But at the same time, in that case, like, it wasn't like the rest of the party went through this big long fight thinking they were going to be part of the showdown. Like, they knew what they were getting into. They're like, yeah, we're getting the cleric to this fight, and we're going to be there for him, but we're going to be on the sideline. Like, they knew what was at the end of the tunnel. So but yeah, keep it short. Like, obviously let people have their spotlight, but don't let it linger too long, because it's not fun sitting there to watch other people play. It's just really not.
Imagine, like, I think a pretty good example would be like, why? Imagine one player pulls the sword out of the stone and be like, "Look, I got this powerful, amazing, glowing sword that can do these cool things." It's like, great. What do we get out of that? Besides just watch you oogling over your big fancy sword.
Um, so that's one of those situations where I don't think there's anything you can do as a GM other than get better players.
Really?
Yeah, well, I've mentioned it before about trying to come up with some mechanics or little homebrew rules to
Yeah.
make people behave, and it's like, no, if you're having to make people behave, just get a better player. Like that's
Yeah, that's another thing too, is
if
that you have some immature players who feel like if they're not the center of attention, they think the game sucks, that everybody else sucks, or the game master is terrible because they feel like the game master's not doing their job to give them all the focus.
yeah. Now I will say, it is probably wise, and I would encourage it
Mhm.
to make sure every player gets their treasure,
Oh
but
yeah,
it
of
doesn't have to
course.
be at the same time. Like you'll get your
I
turn.
think what might help is to like drop trinkets. So it's like, let's say you're in an ancient tomb and you discover like one of the players like, "Hey guys, I found this magic scepter that's kind of it's broken to pieces, but I think we can repair it." And then the other parties can find something that doesn't have to be magical, but it can have maybe an interesting uh, quest item that could be not. What I mean by quest item is that the item itself can start a new quest, or it can be a clue to a bigger item or a MacGuffin, something that can help collaborate with other players, where it doesn't feel like one player gets the one video game item in the room and they have to move on.
I will admit, one thing I really like doing, like in one shots are about all I do anymore. But when I'm
Yeah,
running those, I really do like letting the party find a little stash of treasure that can't be evenly divided amongst their party.
really.
There's one person will be short. So I
Yeah.
love it,
Oh, that's
and
messed
there'll
up.
be something later. But like it's like,
Yeah.
how are they gonna? Who's gonna get the short straw here?
Let's see the chaos unfold. The prisoner's dilemma.
Yeah, I do enjoy that. Let's see. Wait, I saw something. You gotta engage players some other way. Your PC ain't here. Magnitude dictates it of the reward. Yep. That's the one. That's my problem with safety rules. If they have to be enforced, you're probably at the wrong table, and that's
Yes.
why I have mixed feelings about all the safety
Yeah.
rules, like the X card and everything. It's like they're good ideas
Hmm.
in theory, but it's
In
like
theory.
if you need them, it's like there's other problems
Yeah,
that those don't
exactly.
address. But like they are great at conventions, and I think somebody just said that.
Hmm.
Um,
I would
yeah,
even
I heard a
mention like my method of gathering players is that I would actually share a Google questionnaire. I think it's called a Google form. That's it, a
Mhm.
Google form, where I actually have players fill out that form so I know who they are as a player before they ever even touch my table.
Yeah.
And that has done me so many wonders that I managed to avoid so many red flags because their responses could be somehow like really canned and just really not that attractive as a player at my table because they give me some weird, wacky responses, especially how they respond to like certain types of people. They kind of write themselves out as to who they are. It makes it easier than have to invite them to a Discord call to actually talk to them in a video call to get to know them better
Yeah. I
before
was
we even
gonna
get to
say, so
that step.
like this. There we go. The X card.
Yeah,
Like
the X
this is
card.
a great idea for conventions when you're playing with just
Yes,
complete randos you've had no time to get to know. And
exactly.
this actually came from Gen Con.
Oh
And it's
wow.
got some more info in the back. This just one company, and they had a game. I wish I would have wrote it down because it did look kind of interesting. They just printed a ton of these off to give out because they knew people were going to be playing a bunch of games. So whenever somebody passed, like their name, nothing about them is on this card. They just did it as a solid for
Oh
people,
wow,
and they
that's
were
no
just
advertisement at all.
yeah, they were just like,
That's
hey, we know you're
awesome.
going to be running games or you're going to be joining games. Here's some X cards.
That's cool.
And I really like the idea that this becomes a known thing. So when you're playing with a bunch of people you don't know, if you're just like, hey, plop, something got weird,
Plop.
you just
Yeah,
put, everybody knows what that is. Like, that's a good safety tool, I guess is the right word.
exactly.
But yeah, if you're playing with regulars, this should never have to be needed.
Yeah.
It's like I said, if it's needed in your friend group, you have other problems this can't address.
So on my notes, there's actually another thing I want to mention. It's not a question, but I think it's a really good point to get across. Is that I think as game masters, we should only award players when they're all present. Because imagine, let's say Joe Schmo misses out a game and he might feel left out that he didn't get an item in the last session because he wasn't there when the item giving happened.
You're gonna have to run that by me again.
Okay, so I would say this is one of the notes I wrote down is that you should only award players when they're all present, so that way they get the same reaction at the same time instead of having Joe Schmo who missed out in the last session when the GM is passing out items to the players.
It would be weird to give somebody special loot when they weren't there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That would be like, and that's so. Well, first off, I did want to say the safety card thing came up in the server a while back, and I think it was Twice Dead that said they're tools for speed running, getting to know somebody. Because when you get to know somebody, you don't need these.
Yeah.
I forgot how they
Like
worded it, but I really
like speed
liked it.
dating.
Yeah. But anyway, as far as that's so I don't like when it comes to campaigns. I'm a big, well, I guess maybe not a big advocate, but just a fan of if one player is short, do not run the campaign.
Exactly. That's fair.
That's where I stand. Like, if somebody can't make it, I'm like, let's just not do it, because campaigns are generally very story involved.
Exactly.
It's kind of the nature of the beast, right? So, like, I don't want them to miss out, because, like, yeah, you can give them a recap, but they're part of the story. Like, they're influencing it. They're making decisions. Like, they might have something to say. Like, even in the Pathfinder thing I'm in, I'm mostly there to swing an axe, right? Every now and then I get a comment, but, like, if I were the GM and that fill-in barbarian couldn't show up, I still wouldn't want to run it, because we might come across something they would have had a really good comment for that could have completely altered where that went. So that's where I stand. When I was running my campaigns, if somebody couldn't show up, we didn't. I tried it once or twice in the first campaign, and I was just like, this doesn't work. Especially in that first one, because they were all intertwined in the story so much. So
okay, another good note I want to mention is information can also be a reward.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, encourage players to explore and award them for their behavior.
Well, that goes back to reward and punishment for gameplay. Like,
exactly.
How do you want them to play the campaign?
Okay, here I'd say one of my last questions: how do we make item creation easier? That's a really loaded question for sure.
Well, that's back to the beginning of the stream where we were saying rules light, it kind of gets a little more difficult to make stuff, whereas if you have a bunch of crunchy numbers, it's like it's real easy just to make a +1, a +2, a +3.
Exactly. So. Like, do we leave it open for the GM to interpret how the item is supposed to work in a created sense? Like, for example, there is the path called the Techie, which I'm thinking about changing the name to Machinist for this setting. They have an ability. It's called Aether Forge. They have the ability to create something from a narrative mechanic. They just need time and resources to build that said item. There's no limitations on it according to the rules behind it. Basically, the bigger the item, the more time it's going to take to work with it. But of course, you can't build a spaceship with this little portable forge, obviously. You need like a base to build something like that. That's where I think that the logic is supposed to follow up with that. so easier random tables. It's a lot faster. This is also true, if but then that just kind of randomize what the item is going to be. It's kind of like sticking a hand in a bag full of random junk and wait to see what comes out.
Bag of holding.
Yeah, bag of holding.
Isn't there a magic item in Dungeons and Dragons that's just a bag of random stuff?
Something like that. There's the deck of many things.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Well, we've been going for 2 hours.
Yep.
That's about
It's been a good run.
my wrap up time. This was kind of like one of those pirate software streams where we didn't actually develop anything. We just sat around talking.
Oh, for the record, I used to work for Blizzard.
Oh yeah, so 7 years or 8.
7 years.
8 years, 7 years. I was the first second generation Blizzard employee.
Did you know I used to work for Blizzard?
That poor guy, man.
I know, right?
Dude is getting wrecked.
Oh, he's getting ripped all across YouTube.
Oh man.
I find giving an item a very specific boon or limited use once per day for a scene is a good enough. Yes, exactly. I agree. I would say the item can have a range of power creep as long as it can be limited in its use. Because you don't want to give an item, it's like, cool, I'm just going to spam the cantrip that lets me do everything I want to do over and over and over. Fake, you didn't alter your voice? This is how it really sound like?
What's the guy that makes the animations?
The animations?
I know that doesn't narrow it down. He makes some really weird.
Can't confirm Scratch sounds sexy all the time.
Somebody that he's got millions of subscribers. This animator.
I think is it Meat Cannon?
I was just about to say there's meat in the name. Did you see the one on Pirates?
Yes, of him. Oh my god!
It was. I hate that animation style. I hate it so much. It's gross. I hate it. But like
it's shock factor on purpose.
Yeah, but I will admit that animation, like the whole foot in the mouth thing. There was so many things going on crammed in that just little 2 minutes or whatever.
God, it's so grotesque.
It's like, okay, it's like, yes, this is gross, this is disgusting, and I hate it, but I hate it. Respect the artwork behind it.
Oh man, I watched it once and it was like, even the sound effects, I'm just like,
this
guy is too talented for this. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Golly, yeah, that was.
Hope he doesn't watch this video and try to parody us.
I feel like he usually finds people that have a good reason to be.
Yeah, good reason to be made fun of for sure.
See, I don't know anything about him. I've seen like 2 of his videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, me can. Yeah.
They're pretty. They're pretty out there.
I think the only thing I know about a scene of him is that short. Well, it's not a short, but that little animation, and then I think he read the internet's worst or most infamous comic. It's the Zootopia one.
Oh god.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Oh no.
Like that's it. So yeah, I don't know. That's not a rabbit hole I go down.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's all good.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. I'm gonna. This is the guy that was in that first campaign. He's streaming EDF World Brothers 2 right now.
Yeah.
They go join him. I don't know. It's too late. But
so I want to give a quick shout out about what Zeleryn is going to have.
I thought we were logging out, cutting the stream.
What's that?
I said I thought we were shutting down the stream.
Oh, we are. I just wanted to get quick mentions about
what
to expect. Yeah, what to expect in Zeleryn. So I've been working on mech combat along with spaceship combat in Zeleryn, and so far spaceship combat is going really well right now, which is really surprising to see it work with D6s. It's going to be a very cinematic approach. In credits scene, that's right. We're in credits right now. Mech combat is going to be a combination with your character. I think we already discussed that before. But I'm making it more streamlined where basically you can mix and match your character with a specific mech model and have different combinations together. And to add to that, let's say you want to play like a Star Fox type campaign where you have your own gunships. You're going to have that option as well.
Pew, pew, pew.
That's right. Pew, pew, pew.
You got dice you're rolling around?
Yes, I do.
Are they
Speaking
D6s?
of which...
Oh, it's the fancy
oh,
ones.
snap! This fancy D6s.
Golly.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You can see how pretty they are. Have that galaxy purplish blue mixture with the gold tints on it.
So fancy.
Indeed.
So, I got to ask before we go.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get Sean Bova to do your artwork?
Honestly, I didn't think I didn't. So it's not that I didn't like his artwork. It just wasn't what I was aiming for.
Yeah, I was like, this is very different.
So his artwork has this very it's too gritty for the concept I was going for. If that makes sense.
No, I get it. I was just picking on you mostly. Like this is a very different style and feel.
Oh yes, exactly.
I like it. This is very cool looking stuff.
Thank
but
you.
I really like Sean Bova's stuff too. He draws.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's still good.
It's like, I don't know how he does it. It's like, okay, yes, on one hand, this is gross, disturbing stuff, but it's also hilarious at the same time.
Yes, it's hilarious. I was like, that goofy art style was like, this is totally way out of field for what I was going for.
Yeah. I love it. I want him to do the Moss and Stone stuff.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would be a good fit for that style. So.
Definitely.
So, look forward to that. But that's a ways
away.
Moss and Stone.
You get that on a t-shirt. Moss and Stone.
Moss and Stone. So that's a project I got to work on.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of work. Matter of fact,
how's it going so far?
Did you watch the last stream? That's how it's going.
We were bring Blake in.
So we were like this, right? We were working through, and then we were getting to a point we were supposed to bloop, kind of diverge, and then meet back up. Like we had our separate responsibilities. Well, while we were doing this, he went off here. So right before we're getting to that separate point, so now I have to do both of those.
If you want, I'd gladly help you with Moss and Stone.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Gonna draw me up some maps and make me some locations and.
Oh, I'm not that good.
Honestly, mostly it's just me trying to figure out where to go because we were already getting to that organizational point of like, okay, we threw everything at the wall. Now let's try and make it make sense. So it's like,
okay. Where are you stuck at exactly?
Well, I'm not stuck. It's just
you're not? Okay.
Hacking my way through it.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I mean, last stream we knocked out the otter that needed some work. What else? The Twice Dead was just hammering those whispering stones left and right.
Wow. Okay.
We came up with the sandwiches, and I mean it's moving. It's just a little chaotic, and I'm trying to get it.
Yeah, I get that.
Under wraps.
Your area of expertise.
Yep. So. It'll come through. What's there, super solid. I got some stuff to share.
When's
Thursday.
Moss and Stone going to go into space?
That's the Whispering Stone DLC.
DLC.
You don't get that in the base version. That's the super duper collector's edition bundle. Moss and Stone in space. Anyway, I'm going to close this down. We're going to yammer all night. So Say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Thanks for
Thank you all
coming
for
in,
coming.
everybody. Go hang out. Subscribe to Zeleryn. There's nothing to subscribe to.
Yep. I do have a YouTube channel. There's nothing on it yet, but maybe there will be.
Well, there you go. All right. See y'all later.
Peace.
We end stream.